Hello. So how are you, Robin?
I'm good. Thanks for inviting me. I'm excited about this.
Yes, I'm excited and nervous, but we got a few people that showed up, so I'm very happy about that. So there's Heather. Hi, Heather. Thank you for coming. And Ange, thank you for coming. And Jackie, how are you? And I think that's it. So I think we have three people here.
Jackie, I haven't seen her in ages.
Yeah, I assumed she'd be over on. I thought Scott was going live right now, so maybe she's double fisting it and going back and forth.
It can be done,
Yes,
multitasking.
yes. So, what have you been up to?
Oh, goodness. What have I been up to? Oh,
Yeah.
I've been working for the last 2 years on a book. There's this app online called Story. Good God, what is it called? Story View, Story. I can't think of the name right. Storyworth. And you pay, I think, $80 for a year subscription. What they do is every once a week they send you a prompt, and then you write to it, and it falls right into a format online. And you can stop at the end of the year or renew for another year, whatever. And then whenever you decide you want to stop, you stop, and then you pay to have them create a book and mail it to you. And it's a hardcover book, and I'm so impressed. I got it today. This is one hefty, heavy book.
Wow.
2 years. So I have 457 pages in
Oh
the
my.
book of stories, and it's I just stupidly called it a collection of recollections.
I love it. That is so cool.
Yeah, so it's I mean they give you weird prompts and you could ignore them and do your own, but like things like what has made your faith stronger, um, what were your favorite cartoons growing up, simple stuff like that. Some of them I changed, like my favorite Italian cafe, overserved. So it's like they're little stories that I had a little more personal connection to. And but yeah, I'm really tickled about it.
Wow,
So
that is really cool. Yeah. Well, there's someone else that came in, Christine. Thank you for coming. Hello. And so apparently Nancy is getting sick, so they had to cancel the live. So of Scott's live. So, or at least she couldn't go on. At least. So, yeah, that is a cool thing to have that book.
well,
So,
I started it because I wanted to write my own autobiography or memoir, whatever you want to call it. And I thought, I don't know if I can do a project that big. And then I heard about this idea and I thought, well, if it's just, a page or a chapter a week responding to prompts, then I'll see if I can have any stick to itiveness. Because it's the same thing like tarot, having built a tarot, it takes time. And I'm a procrastinator. So it's like if I don't get hooked in and keep motivated to follow through, it ain't going to happen. So I thought,
same
well, this
here.
test, I'll see how long I can continue writing a chapter a week. And then I'll get that muscle memory going for writing and the habitual thing of, forcing myself to sit down and write. And it'll ease me into being able to do my memoir. And it kind of worked. Every time I went out to the cafe, I'd write a new chapter from my memoir, but I've missed the last 3 months, which is horrible. And I've been to the cafe a lot of times, so I have to get back on track with that. But this was kind of my intro into the habit of it or whatever.
Yeah. I think that's phenomenal that you were able to write that much. That's a lot.
Well, and also at the end, you're supposed to like proofread before you order a copy. And I thought, I'm too lazy to go through, read every chapter and all these stories.
Yes.
I'll just get a hard copy and then I'll go through with a marker and make corrections and fix them. And if I want to, if there's enough in there to change, I'll order another copy.
Yeah,
So,
I'm terrible at editing. Like I have not looked at my the guidebook for my Oracle deck. I haven't looked at it since I created it. So it could be filled with errors and I wouldn't even know. So
Well, now I don't know if this is too personal to ask, but Ray is a writer. How does he handle? Does he have an editor, or does he edit his own stuff, or how does that?
He edits his own stuff, and he's very meticulous. Very meticulous. So he edits and edits and edits and edits and edits. So yeah, he has that kind of personality. I do not. So for those who don't know, Ray is my husband. So
And
hi, Maruta.
he writes horror, right?
Yes. He writes horror, and he has 2 short stories published, and he's working on a novel. So
Okay.
yeah. Hi, Scott. So, well, I mean, we have several people in here. I guess we can, let's see. Oh, thank you guys for putting links in. I thought Mudita, thank you for coming. Cool. So we got some, ooh, what am I doing? Oh, okay. So apologies, people. This is my first time going live. So if I click the wrong thing, or if I seem like I don't know what I'm doing and confused, my apologies. So I'll do my best.
Help and give her a thumbs up.
Yes, give me a thumbs up.
If you're not subscribed, I suspect you all are already anyway.
I assume so. So I guess we could start questions. So, like, if anyone wants to do a question, do hashtag capital me. And I'll see if, I don't know, I guess there's a way to highlight them. Oh, star them. Yeah. Okay.
You can star them to keep track of them. If you click on them, it does put a little thing at the bottom.
Okay.
Banner across the bottom, and then you have to either click on it again to remove it, or click on a new one and it'll replace it.
Okay.
I haven't mastered the star thing. I don't quite know how to go back and find those once I've done it.
Yeah, I don't know how people do it. I know that I think Ange just writes it down in a notebook.
Oh, so. Old school. I like that.
Yeah. So I think that's something I'm going to have to do if I start getting a lot of people, which we'll see. We'll see if that happens. So Ange has asked a question. If anyone else wants to ask a question, but anyone? Yeah, Ange says she's old school. So.
Now, you could do me a favor when you're ready. If you could highlight Ange's question, I won't miss it, and it will remind me what I'm reading for.
Yeah.
Yeah. I decided to throw in another deck since you said, what tarot deck are you using?
Yeah.
I told Kristen before we started that I'm very comfortable with using my own decks, even though my deck is a majors only deck. But I've also done a Lenormand, so I'm going to work with those in tandem. But I thought, what the heck? I'll throw another deck in there. It's the last one I bought. I saw it on Simon's channel, and I was taken more from the color palette and the imagery that's very simple than the idea. It's called the Junior Tarot Readers Deck and Guidebook, 78 cards for budding mystics. And it's really kind of gilded, guided. It's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's directed at younger or beginner readers.
It's so cute.
But the color palette is this beautiful, soft, kind of cloudy day purple, and I really like it. I'm not thrilled about the cardstock because it's matte, but it's that stiff card that everybody loves except me. I tend to prefer something like a linen. So it's pretty. It's pretty.
Yeah.
And the image is very simplistic, kind of, but very RWS.
Yeah. That's very cute. I never heard of it. I know, didn't you did a walkthrough on your channel on that?
I did. And it's super cheap on Amazon. I don't think it's that expensive elsewhere. It's the list price in the US is $18.99, which is still fairly reasonable for a tarot deck, a mass market. But I got it on Amazon for I think 16 something, and Simon got his for I think 14 pounds in the UK. So it's pretty cheap.
Yeah, yeah. Look what Heather said. Last time Robin read for me, the cards unfolded as he said.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
I never
Nice.
claimed to be predictive, so that's cool. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nice synchronicity when it happens, but yeah.
Yeah, recently I did a reading for a friend in person, and he came up to me like a week or two later when we saw each other again. He was like, "Your cards, they're all coming true. I just had to tell you that. It's so weird." And I'm like thinking, I was like, I didn't predict anything. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Did you happen to see my live yesterday?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Oh my God, it was amazing. I said I called it testing the tarot, asking the big questions, and I didn't want like mundane questions. I said like I had watched this podcast, Mayim Bialik's Breakdown. She was interviewing Deepak Chopra, and they got into really cosmic issues, and like what's the nature of the universe, blah blah blah. And I said, ask me the big questions. Let's see what the tarot says. So, and at some point, someone said, "Does the tarot have a sense of humor?" And it did. It's like, what the question is, what is God? I mean, you couldn't get a bigger question than that.
Yeah.
Particular Majors has a bonus card in there, and I said, "Watch, it's going to be that bonus card," and it was. It was the bonus card that I added in my Majors is the same image as the back, and it's the who are you card. And so it's like, what is God? It's you and you and you. It's like everybody, we're all interconnected. And it was so amazing that card fell out of the deck.
That's cool.
I thought, what major archetype is it going to give me to explain what is God? But this card is kind of like an open-faced, open card, like could be anything, could be nothing, which both are potentially God. I don't think anybody in the room that was, I don't think I had anybody in the room that was like a devout, organized religion person. So everybody was open to the idea of possibilities, but that just kind of blew me away. And it's a perfect example of like what happens when you read the tarot and like the cards that just kind of fall out,
Yeah.
So I've been hogging the dialogue here.
So why don't we do a first question? Let's do Angie's. She asked first. So I would love a reading. What does Spirit want me to focus on in the upcoming month of April? Okay.
Right.
Ooh, my thing just fell out of my ear. Okay, what deck should I? I'll use this one. My most recent deck that I got, I'll use that, the Lioness Oracle Tarot. It's huge, so it's very difficult for me to shuffle, but it's beautiful. You can go whenever you want, Robin.
Okay. Well, the first card that came up was the Star card, and this actually appeared twice. It appeared both in the majors and in the Lenormand. But yeah, I have to remind people, I always read from the center out. So this is the center card focus. Star, which is inspiration and guidance. So, Ange, be aware of inspirational things coming up in your life, things that inspire you to pursue something. Now, to the left of that was the Sun card. So, I mean, that's all that, and the Sun is very enlightening, and it's next to the inspiration, sort of enlightened inspiration. And then the third card is the Empress. And now for me, hey, Ramon, for me, the Empress is very nurturing and comforting, and I love these cards. I'm not thrilled about my personal design of the Star card. I could have done a better job on it, but symbolically, it's an important card. So the energy surrounding that inspiration is daytime illumination and comfort. So I think we all work best with things that inspire us when we are comfortable in working with them. So if inspiration comes to you during April and it's something that you feel not only inspired by, but comfortable with, I'd say jump on it and run with it. Now, the cards right underneath, again, the first card, I had the Star of the Lenormand. So I think there's extra emphasis here on the Star, since I got it in two different decks, two different systems. And I would say really keep an eye on inspirations coming to you. The second card I got is the Moon, which is a little bit of mystery. So things may be revealed. And it's odd because the positions I have is first deck, the Sun is over the inspiration. First place, the Sun is over the inspiration of the Star. Second place, the inspiration of the Star is over the Moon. So that's kind of weird because I thought your inspiration may be coming by day during the daylight hours. But then I got the flip in the second position. It's like your inspiration may be coming by night. So it could be either or around the clock. Just keep your eyes open for inspiration. In the third position of the Lenormand, I got the Letter. Now that is usually news coming. So maybe your inspiration is coming by mail or some notification from somebody else. Maybe somebody will send you an email or a text, or there'll be a communication when you go out with a friend. Something will pop into your head and inspire you to run with. As long as you find comfort in what that inspiration is, go with it. But I'd say remain open to both day and night with the inspirations that might come to you. Now, just for the hell of it, I did do this other 78 card thing with the junior tarot readers deck. That one, the focus was of the center card is the Ace of Pentacles. So that's kind of the beginning of material things, the beginning of a project, the beginning of something valuable. So heck, if you're getting inspiration, you're starting something that will come to fruition if you follow through on it. And that's a good sign. There's the beginning of something coming in April. The other two cards, there's a lot of busy stuff going on. The first one is the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is something I would say kind of emotionally fulfilling. Like you may undertake a project and feel really good about it, plays back into that comfort setting of the Empress. But also, you're not quite there. You don't have 10 cups. You got 9 of them. So I'd say whatever this inspiration or this project is that's coming, you're going to make pretty good headway with it in April, I think. The third card or last card is the Eight of Wands. And boy, that is a lot of energy flying at you. That's a lot of stuff to sort through. So between the Eight of Wands and the Nine of Cups, how much inspiration can you handle? Can you juggle? Can you deal with, Ange? Because you may have a lot of inspiration coming to you, and emotionally, you can't handle it all at once. You have to kind of deal with things one at a time. But it looks like your plate, so to speak, is full with all this emotional stuff that you're trying to remain comfortable in working through. But you're going to have a lot to work through, and this Ace of Pentacles is a great affirmation that something inspiring is going to materialize. So I think I'll stop there. That pretty much tells it all.
Okay, thank you for that. So the first card that I got is the Tower. So we got the Tower here. And so I think this is saying that, like, in April, there's going to be some changes, something difficult that you're going to have to process through. Now, this might be something new. This might be something that you're already dealing with. But it looks like at the beginning of the month, April starts with a bang. There's going to be something. It could be, could be small, could be big. I don't know. But there's just something that just to keep mindful of, that there could be a shift. And the shift ultimately is going to be good because you got the Death card next. So I mean, it's going to be a difficult change, difficult transition, but ultimately it's for your own benefit. There's going to be, shifts in perspective, shifts in how you're living your life. And you got the King of Pentacles next. And so I'm wondering if the shift has something to do with mastery. And I'm going to actually read this a little differently than I usually read the Pentacles. And I'm going to read it as it relates to your health and your body. So I'm wondering if this is saying, April is a time to really put the pedal to the metal, and get really serious about your health and your wellness and fitness, and to just really make sure you prioritize that. I know you're a mom. I know you're very busy. But I think this is what this is saying, is that if you prioritize your health, ultimately it's going to be a way to sort of be the king of your castle and to be able to serve people better if you put yourself first, put your health first. And then the fourth card you got is the Four of Wands. So I think by the end of April, it's going to be a very positive month. It's going to be one of celebration, community. It's going to be one of connection and balance and stability. So even though like April starts off being kind of rocky, by the end of the month, that really ultimately serves your benefit. Whatever happens at the beginning, whether it's interior, exterior, what have you, whatever this aha moment is, whatever that aha moment is with the Tower and the Death card, ultimately it's going to serve you well. Now, I pulled from the bottom of the deck for just like an overall energy, and you got the Queen of Wands. So I think this is about maybe similar to what Robin said, in that there's like some sort of passionate project that you're going to be focusing on. This could be your channel. It could be your fitness. It could be something that I know nothing about. But I think this is speaking to your sovereignty, to your ability to oversee and to really reach out and create that connection with other people. And so I'm wondering if this might have to do with your channel and just the passion of the overarching passion of the month, as it relates to your channel and how you create connection between people. So that's what I have. So it felt a little all over the place, but there was an arc there. So I hope some of that resonates and proves true. And so that's what I have.
I see so many people that I don't know and I don't recognize. Let me beg you to come and subscribe to my channel when you get a minute sometime. I'm Toadstool Tarot.
Yeah. So there's Selena. There is, let's see, Janet. There's Lexi, sexy Lexi. So hi, thank you for coming. And I think I got them all. So let's see. I only have 2 other readings, but if anyone else wants one, just put #me, and I'll try to remember to scroll back up. And
Thanks to Anne for putting my link in there. And I wanted to say to Miss Tarot D, come downtown sometime, please. Let's read for each other. It's been too long since we saw each other. And I'm going to try and see if I can get, I don't know how many of you know Jen of Jen's Balanced Tarot, and Elle, who used to have channels on here that they live in the city now. Maybe the 4 of us can get together and practice or trade readings. So please, Miss Tarot D, come down and visit with me again.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Have you, Kristen and Gerald, ever gotten together in Ohio to meet or read or anything? Are you're near one another, or you're in different cities, or what?
No, he's probably about 14 minutes from me. But
we should.
Yeah.
Are there any other Ohioan readers over there? I'm sure there must be.
Yeah. I mean, you mean from the tarot community, like
from the
YouTube?
Community that you found out are kind of not far from you?
I mean, there's tarot readers. Yeah, but I don't know of like a group that gets together.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm friends with tarot readers. There's a shop called the Magical Druid, and there's one called Witch Lab, and I know some readers from both those locations. So
I tried to get a group together here, but I'm terrible at that. It just never really works out. But and I know I'm in New York City, for God's sake, there must be millions of tarot readers here. And I don't know why I can't find them or track them down. But, I know 3 others. So, that's a starting place. I hope I can get together.
Yeah. And Selena, I'm from Pittsburgh, and I get into Pittsburgh a few times a year. So maybe we can get together for coffee sometime and talk tarot. So let's do the next question, and that's Mudita. And it's a message from my spirit team, please. Message from my spirit team.
You want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I can go. Okay, so I've got the 8 of Wands first. So I think the beginning of this message is one of passion, of drive, of energy. I think that what this is a wake up call. This is a card that's saying, you have a lot of potential in you. You have a lot of energy to give. You have a lot of passion to give. And I think this is saying roll with it, run with it. Don't sit on it anymore. Don't poo-poo your interests or your passions. Don't put them on the back burner because you have, more important things to do. Don't deprioritize them because, you get sucked into social media. This is a card of going forward with those passions. And then you got another 8. You got the 8 of Pentacles. And so I think this is saying it's hard work. Whatever it is that you're passionate about, it will be hard work, and it will take some repetitive of energy that you put towards it, to really get it off its feet and to get it going. And what is this? Like what could this be? Like this passion? Like what does it have to do with? Well, you got the Ace of Swords. It's something inspirational, some spark, something's beginning. So it's something that maybe you haven't even started yet, or something that you're just sort of chewing on, something that's just, percolating at the moment. And this is saying, this is potential. This is pure potential that you can bring out of your brain. You need to bring it out of there. But it has to do with other people, because your 4th card is the 2 of Cups. And so I think this is about partnership. This is about connection. So whatever it is whatever gifts that you have that you need to bring up and out to share with the world, it's going to create connection, connection with other people, connection with yourself. And the overall energy, I got the 3 of Cups, which is about friendship, celebration, connection. So I think whatever it is that you have in you, that's stored in you, that's ready to come out and fly forward, it really does have to do with some sort of connection, some sort of community connection to friends, family, something along those lines. So I hope that speaks to you, and if that jogs anything, in your brain box. So that's what I got.
Now, did she ask a specific question? Because I think I missed it, or is it just
message from my spirit team?
Oh, right. And what was her name? Medita?
Medita, okay. Yes.
All right. I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. And I don't do predictive, but I'm just going to tell you what I see in the cards. And a couple of them confuse me a little bit, so maybe you'll help me. The first one that came up is justice. This is the central core of this particular first line of reading. It's about justice, it's about equity, it's about fairness. So I don't know if there's some issue in your life surrounding things that feel unjust or unfair, or you're weighing out things in terms of how to deal with or treat something, like maybe you've been treated unfairly, or maybe you treated someone unfairly, or they think you have but you haven't. I don't know. There's something around justice and the weighing factor of it. So consider what's going on with that energy. It opens with the Moon card, and the Moon card is really always kind of a bit of mystery. We don't quite know. We don't see the full light. We only see by the light of the moon, which isn't very much. So it's sort of something that slowly will reveal itself through the night and on towards morning, through the phases of the moon, as it gets to be more like a full moon, and you get a lot more brightness than a new moon. Is the new moon the one where you can't see anything?
Yeah.
And we just had, I believe, over the weekend, we had a blood moon, although I didn't see it. Oh. But I don't know how this is time related. But hey, it's Sunday, and if the the blood moon was yesterday or the night before, that's kind of nearby. So maybe there's some bearing there. I don't know. But to me, there's a sort of indication of mystery surrounding or energy leading into this notion about justice and weighing things out. The third card is the Magician, which is very good. For me, it always ends on a positive note with the Magician, because that means you have the tools that you need. You have the resources you need to have a positive outcome. So whatever this murky issue is about justice or unfairness or equity, in the future position, you've got the Magician, which means you are somehow going to be able to manifest your way through whatever this confusion or this issue is. And like I said, I don't know you, so I can't be more specific about the issue. But think about whether there's something going on that feels to you like you're called upon to find justice or find fairness, or you feel like you've been treated unjustly or unfairly, or maybe it's a national thing. We look at politics, it's there. I'm going to go to the Lenormand line. The Lenormand line, the center card is the home or the house. And so, being right under justice, it feels like there's a justice connection or something going on around the house. Like maybe it's in your partnering or your relatives in some manner. There's an energy around it that feels like you've been slighted or somebody's been slighted or hurt. There's something not quite smooth going. Somebody needs to justify something. Somebody needs to figure out what's not quite right and make it right, make it fair. Leading into that is the energy of the clover, and the clover is always a little bit of luck. And so little bit of luck leading into the home means good things coming into the home. Maybe not a major solution, a major, solution to the problem, but good things leading into a good resolution. Now, the third card there, and this is one that always gives me trouble in Lenormand, is the lilies. The lilies is so confusing to me to read, because I've heard it termed that the lilies can stand for elder energy, but also sexuality. It's like, what the hell? Those don't connect for me, sex and elders. I am an elder and I can have sex, but I just don't quite get that connection. But I'm gonna kind of look at this as a lifespan elder, something growing and having gone through certain experiences, and you learn things as you get older, or you learn also from older people around you that have been through experiences, and it will help you around home. Like, if there's a situation around home that doesn't feel fair, maybe you want to go to an elder, like a church elder, a therapist, an advisor, a family member that's older, somebody who has been through more experiences than you that can help you sort this out. Going to go to the other deck. The other deck, this one starts with the Page of Wands, which is really good. This is like moving into the future, moving in the direction of the future. The Page of Wands is like the beginning of something inspirational, the beginning of something good that you're going to do. So there is that. But the start of it is the Three of Swords, which is a heavy card for a lot of people. Now, it's a good card preceding the Page of Wands, because what it says, and this may relate back to this unjustness or unfairness, is that people usually look at it as heartbreak. But what it is it's overcoming emotional difficulty by what you learned, the pain you went through, and learning, picking up knowledge from what you've experienced during that painful process. So if you have learned your lessons, which also plays into the Lilies card of growth and sort of history, and you can manifest that with the Magician, and you can move past it through the Three of Swords, this Page of Wands will kind of help you move forward into something productively creative. And the last card that ends with is the Sun. The Sun is always happy and enlightened. So there looks to be a happy, positive resolution to a couple of these cards that look iffy or maybe a little towards the negative side. They're not really. It's all in the context and the flow of things. And I think you can take heart in knowing that even if you might have to deal with an issue of people arguing over fairness or justness or whatever, and also having to go through painful things in your past. If you can get beyond that and you can pick up on what you learned through those experiences, you can create something new, and it will be a bright, sunshiny day. You will be illumined by that whole experience. Even the dark bits that you had to overcome and get through, you're moving towards the light. You're moving towards something really good. So I hope that resonates. Boy, my words are just like all the wrong words in all the wrong directions tonight.
Me too.
Resonates, not resignates. I hope that resonates with you in some regard. What she said, I have an Aunt Lily who transitioned. She is looking out for me. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm making these so long, Kristen.
Oh, you're fine.
I used to give 20-second instant readings, but I think it was like a surface thing and a newcomer thing. And the longer I work with tarot, it's funny, the more you know, the less you know. Yes. So it's like the deeper you get into it, the more that comes out, and my readings are getting longer and longer. So I apologize if I'm over.
No, that's okay. That's okay. You're doing fine. Okay. So let's do Heather next. How does the month of April look for getting an apartment once we get to Oregon? So yeah, she is moving to Oregon. It's a huge transition for her.
I'm wondering if I'm going to get the Chariot in this. Sometimes I think, what would be an obvious card direction-wise? And you never know. Sometimes it does pop up, and it's not me forcing it. It just happens.
Yeah. I mean, travel. I mean, like 3 of Wands is a travel, 8 of Cups. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen. Oh. Thank you, Medina.
Oh, very interesting. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, the cards surprise me often. Ooh. I'm going to go ahead and go. Okay. They haven't even sunk in yet, but I'm getting things off the fly. The central energy in this first line, Heather, is the Empress. Now, I'd say the Empress is you. So the energy surrounds you. This is you asking this question. And the Empress usually, for me, it's all about comfort. It's all about warmth, compassion, comfort, making things comfortable and easy for yourself, but also doing it for others. And, I mean, when you talk about looking for an apartment, a new nest, a place of comfort, like that cushiony, comforty throne that she's sitting on, that's the focus of your question and your concern at the moment. Now, the first card is the Star again, which is inspiration. So, put all your feelers out there. Be open to signs and signals and symbols that come your way. Anything that catches your eye in terms of an advertisement or what do you call it, realtor or whatever, take all those on. You might be passing a shop window and see an apartment listing somewhere. You never know. But whatever inspiration is there, whatever inspires you, whatever method it takes to inspire you to look or where to look or how to look, take that on. Now, the thing that struck me as funny is right next to the emperor and the third empress in the third position was the emperor. So I don't know about your partner, but you said we, so I don't know. You and your partner, empress, emperor. It's not gender specific necessarily, but it's the other half of this partnership are kind of face to face. I wonder if you are, the way this is positioned, they're facing each other as opposed to facing away. Either that's a coming together or it's a confrontation in terms of the issue of trying to find a place to live. You might find a place to live, but maybe you won't be able to agree on what you both want out of the place. There's some discussion there to be had, and wherever there is, as firm or stubborn as I always see the emperor, the empress somehow has to make some accommodation with and still be able to stand up for herself in order to get along with that emperor energy. Maybe that's where the star inspiration energy comes from. It's sort of like, how can you inspire yourself to negotiate with your partner about this new place? Underneath, these cards are a little weird. The first one's the anchor. The anchor, that makes sense to me with finding a new apartment. You're trying to find somewhere to set down new roots, to anchor yourself, and with the Empress, somewhere to be comfortable. So finding a new apartment, yeah, comfortable. Now this middle one, I don't know. This one's the coffin, and the coffin is usually the end of things. So it's a stoppage or an ending. I don't quite know how to read that in terms of moving to a new place and looking for something new, unless it's sort of saying, kind of like the Six of Swords, that you're moving across the lake with you're taking baggage with you. So you're moving across the country, you're leaving something behind, ending it. Maybe that's kind of weighing heavily on your mind and finding the new place. Maybe that kind of energy is making you judgmental, like, oh, we want a place exactly like we just left, or we're not open to like change or something new. Or think about that stop, that change, that ending. It might not be in the present or the future. It could be something that you're pulling with you from the past. The third one is the boat or the ship, and that one is moving across a long distance. Well, you're moving across the country. So, there you go. You're moving away from something and towards something. You're moving across the country. Now, I wouldn't say in this little reading of these two that it answers your question about will we find an apartment, or will we find it easily, or I forget how you worded it. But I will say that there are elements there that maybe you aren't considering at the moment, like how do you go about working with your partner in terms of finding this new place? It's not just you alone doing it. There's two of you trying to get this. So there's a partnership in terms of accomplishing or achieving this. It's not all on you to find it, pin it down, and sign the lease. There's two of you involved here. Think about that. Now, in the other one, the center energy is the Queen of Pentacles. And in the same way that I had you penned as the Empress, I have you penned as the Queen of Pentacles. It's this feminine energy. She's sitting there. She's grasping a pentacle. Pentacle has to do with material stuff. Whenever you're renting or buying a house or whatever, well, the house is a material thing. Your budget is also a material thing. The budget may weigh on what place you're renting. So I'm not sure what the focus of the aspect is there, but it looks like you are very aware and masterfully in control, and compassionately so, about this material concern. Now, right in front of you, again, is the Emperor. So there's something, maybe the conflict before was over finances or money or budget with your partner. Like, one of you wants to spend a little more, one wants to spend a little less, wants to be frugal. I don't know. But it looks to me like the Emperor I always see the Emperor as stubborn. I don't know why that's always the key word for me. But for me, the Emperor is stubborn, kind of set in a place. And I believe both of you are maybe older people. And so as you get older, you get more set in your ways. there may be an issue there about like one is a little more flexible than the other. I don't know. Maybe flexibility in terms of the budget, because the Queen is holding a pentacle and the last card is the Four of Pentacles, which is this notion of, they often call it the miser card or the greedy card or whatever. And often it's holding too tightly onto things that won't let you move forward. So maybe there's an issue involving the budget, the amount that the new apartment might be is slightly out of reach, or one of you thinks it's too high and we can find a cheaper place, but will we be happy in a cheaper place? We love this place. I don't know, but take all these into account as you're looking, Heather. And I don't know if you have any feedback on that. The chat's been flying by. Can't tell. Oh, thank you. And I'd be curious if anything specific resonates that you can confirm. I'd love to hear that. But if not, maybe it's something that will come in time. Again, I don't do predictive, but you never know with the energies, and the cards.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first card that I got for your reading, Heather, is the Moon. And I think this is really speaking to the anxieties that are sort of enveloping this whole process of leaving behind what you know, even though what you know is like very stressful and just wrought with issues. You're still like going into the future, into the unknown. And I think this just speaks to the anxiety, the low level anxiety that's just gonna be there, blanket the situation. And then you've got the Knight of Wands. And I think what this is saying is just like the excitement. So while you might have anxieties, you also are having excitement and you're ready to go. You are ready to onto that new horizon. But it's also, because you're an artist, and so I'm wondering if this is about your art too. And about like bringing that inspiration with you, bringing that creativity with you, because you can't, it's part of you. You're not going to leave it behind. So maybe this is going to be a comfort through the process, the stressful process is even if you can't, because you're so busy, you can't like do your artwork through the process. It's still an inspiration. It's that aspiration, because I know that's something that you're really looking forward to, is like really diving into your art, and which you'll be able to do like once all that stress from like your current situation has abated. And then you also got the Two of Cups. And I think this speaks to what, Robin was speaking to, is just the partnership that is required through this whole process. So you are going to have to put your heads together. You're going to have to make sure that, that you're not having a lot of conflict, causing a lot of conflict. This is about communication. This is about connection. You're doing this together. This is a project for both of you. This is your life together. And you're just looking to the horizon together. Like, look at these kitties. They're like looking off into the horizon, and that's you. You're two adorable kitties, doing this together. And then you got the Justice card. And I think this is speaking not to the future, but to the past, all the injustices that you had to deal with your current location. And I think this is saying like, perhaps you'll be able to breathe. Once you're in the new place and you start setting up and find the right place, you're going to be able to breathe and leave behind the issues that you have here. I think like I don't do predictives, so this could very well mean that there's going to be new issues to mull over and deal with once you're in your new location. I don't know, so it could be either one, and you can tell me when everything is said and done which one it is. And then the overall energy I got is the Queen of Swords. And so I think this is just speaking to the rationality this is going to take. It's going to take being rational, calm, even keeled through the process, because moving is extremely stressful, especially if you're moving states. That's very stressful. So I think so this is just to take it rationally, take it step by step, move through the anxiety, enjoy the passion and the joy of it, connect, with your partner, and, do it together, and just leave behind the shit, leave it behind. You've done enough work in this current location. So that's the reading I have.
Kristen, somebody asked which deck you're using.
Oh, it's the Lioness Oracle Tarot. Yeah, so that's a Jaguar. Look at that! Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I don't know. There's a black. I don't know my cats. So yeah, you would know better than me. These cats. So.
Okay, I'm going to take an energy break.
Okay.
I'm not leaving. I'm just showing you. If any of you are Harry Potter fans, I have no idea why, but every time somebody suffers on Harry Potter, they shove chocolate in their mouth. Now, why does chocolate seem to do anything? I don't know. But I have mint chocolate, 70% cocoa, which is supposed to be very good, the dark chocolate. And I'm going to take a little bite and see what that does.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good after being attacked by Dementors, I hear. It's funny, I told my husband, I was like, oh, we'll probably go like an hour at most, probably less. No one's going to show up.
This has been great.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you how your energy is, because we're 3 minutes from the first hour. And whether you wanted to cut it or keep going for another hour, or what you feel like.
Well, we have 4 more questions.
Right.
And so I think we'll cut it there. Okay, how do I do this? Okay, banners. Did that work? No. Okay, there we go. So yeah, just let me know when you're ready to come on to the next one.
Who?
It's Ravi Teja or Ravi Deja, Chowderpelli. Are you here? I've been forgetting to ask that question.
Everybody has the same question about April. It's funny because we're not there yet. It's kind
of we're just halfway through March.
Really halfway through March, but it's nice to know everybody's getting prepared for it. I wish I could give you all a little piece of chocolate.
We just closed questions because we have 4 more. I was just going to go an hour, and we're already probably going to go an hour and a half. So my apologies, but we won't be able to take your question. But Robin does readings all the time. So you can go to his channel. You can go to my channel. I'll be coming on again in a few weeks. Yes, Ravi is here. So let's see. Can I get a general reading for the month of April? I should actually go tell my husband that I'm going longer. So
Did you draw it? You haven't drawn your cards yet. Okay. Well, let's see. Energy for April. Things coming in April. I've got my cards here. I'm not sure. All right. Again, I don't know anything about you or your circumstances. I'm starting off with the Emperor, central energy of the Emperor. Not necessarily stubborn, but sort of backward looking or backward focused on the energy that's coming into your life. And being, I don't know, is this person a male or a female? Not that it should matter, but I was guessing.
Raji, I don't know. I assume female, but I could be wrong.
See, I thought it was a male, but I don't know that just from the name.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll say it's energy that is firm, it's established. I hate to use the word masculine energy, but there's male, says male. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
So I got this sense of male, masculine energy firmly placed on a throne of stone. You know, it's like, that's the energy I always get from the Emperor. It's I often think of it as stubborn because it's determined, it's established. It rarely moves. You know, he can get up and move at a moment's notice if really pushed or propelled. But often it's like, it's my way or the highway. I'm here now. I know what I like. I know what I want. This is it. This is me. I am rooted here. And that's kind of the energy that I'm getting. But it's looking back towards strength. And strength is very protective. It's protection. This card, sometimes I get this one confused with the Empress because both of them are this nature of comfort and support. And strength, when I get strength, I also get the keyword perseverance. And in this card, I see a softening counter to the stiffness of the Emperor. So there's something the Emperor is looking back on that is a softening influence to that energy of the Emperor that's maybe a little bit too hard or a little too firm. And then in the future is the Hermit. And the Hermit is really about kind of going within or going aside, going solo, going away to think about things. You know, so if you have an issue with somebody or something else where maybe you've been accused of being too set in your ways or in your beliefs, or it's like unmovable, think about if there's a way to be a little more malleable, if there's a way to soften that. But think about it before you act on it. So it's like the Hermit doesn't just come out and do it. They think about all sides of the issue and where what they do might lead. So I don't know if I'm being like really confusing with that, but underneath that in the Lenormand, we have the Fox. Now, the Fox is usually clever on the sly side. It's usually some kind of solution to a problem that a lot of people don't see. It's like, oh, aha. It's like the aha moment. And so it's like, if there's something going on, this imbalance of energy between like too firm male and maybe more malleable female energy, there's something of value in there that about that mix that you may be able to find a way to negotiate the compatibility of the two. Because the next one is the key. And the key is usually a solution. So the solution seems to be connected to this slyness, this finding a way to solve this incompatibility of these two kinds of energies. So you've got that weird thing going on with the two energies. You go into kind of solitary mode with the Hermit. And as you're doing that, you're thinking about, is there an aha moment? Is there some way for me to like make these two energies work together? And you may have the aha moment with that key. Now, the last card in that is the Moon. The Moon, again, is sort of like the mysterious, the unpredictable. You never quite know what's going to happen. So it's like, don't be so firm in already pre-deciding what's going to happen the way that the emperor might. Be open to the feminine energy that the moon offers, and the changeability, and also your intuition, if we want to call it a feminine intuition. Okay. No, yeah, I don't know if you have trouble as a male working with these mixed gender energies, but it's just sort of like movable, malleable versus rigid. Okay, that's kind of the two sides of the genders stereotypically. So yeah, I would say in your search, in your hermit search for trying to resolve the conflict, if there is a conflict between masculine and feminine energies, you will find a solution, but it might not be a direct solution. It might be some degree of slyness or cleverness that has to offer up a suggestion or a direction that you wouldn't normally see, and you're having a hard time seeing it by the light of the moon. But be open to that possibility. Maybe it's something you wouldn't ordinarily choose, but think, well, that's not on my radar, or that I wouldn't choose, but why not? Could I choose that? What will happen if I choose that? Even if it's contrary to my way of operating, what if I go that direction? Might that lead to something better, an improvement? Okay, the other side, we've got center card energy is the King of Swords. Great. King of Swords is the best communicator. Swords are all about communication and language, intelligent thinking, intelligent speaking. The king is the mastery of this. So it may be that all of this is tied up in miscommunication, and all it really needs is being clear in your communication with who or whatever this conflict or situation is. The card before that is the Page of Pentacles, which is something, again, of material value, not necessarily finance, but it could be finance. Something product-wise, something, material can be health, it can be family, it can be home, hearth, it can be money. There's so many things that are of material value in your life, and the page is usually the beginning of something. So there's something coming on or something happening having to do with a change in material expression or embrace of something new being created or coming to you that has value of some way that's substantial. The last card is the Four of Wands, always a happy card ending. The Four of Wands is a celebration, a gathering. Wands are passion, and I want to say compassion too. But you're arriving at this place that's like of a celebration. So even if some of the early cards seem a little bit conflicted or a little uncertain, or there's like energies butting up against one another, it seems like it's going to work out enough that the end result can be celebrated. So I hope you have the patience and the energy and the quietness in you to be able to go within and consider what is happening with these conflicting energies, and if you can find a clever way to reach a solution. And the more you think about it, the more you meditate on it, the more light will be revealed, as in light of the moon. I'm sorry if I'm chasing everybody away. That's it for me.
Okay. So the first card, I got the Eight of Wands again. So this is a card of energy, of fast movement. So you're gonna enter April with a bang. This is encouraging you to use your passions and to use your energy wisely, and to really, don't sit on any sort of energy that you have or any sort of passions you have. Go for it. Just put your eye on the prize and go for it. And next question, or the next card, sorry, that you got is the Visionary, which is the Fool card. But seeing as this is Van Gogh, one of the ways I read this card is, let's see, Vincent did not know his worth until, I mean, it was too late. You know, he did not know the worth of his art, of his expression, of his gifts during his lifetime. And I think this is calling you to embrace your gifts and to recognize them, and don't poo-poo your gifts. Don't ignore them. Feed them, nourish them, be proud of them. Because this is saying that there are gifts that you have. I don't know what they are, but it's saying that there are gifts that you have that you can offer the world, and just to recognize that, to affirm that in you. And then you got the 5 of Wands. And so I don't know what your personality is like. So I don't know if you are really good at like jumping into conflict and like, you know, and doing conflict, or if you're conflict avoidant. So I'm thinking this is just saying push outside your comfort zone, whatever that is. So if you're usually avoiding conflict with people in your life, this might be saying just push your boundaries. That sometimes you have to stand up for yourself, stand up for your beliefs, stand up for your boundaries. Or it could be saying the opposite. If you're a very naturally combative person, maybe it's saying chill, you know, chill out a bit. So the next card you got is the two of Swords, and this is a card of choice, of needing to make a choice. So by the end of April, there's a choice that you're going to have to make between 2 options. I don't know what those are. But yeah, you could sit on it, you know, wait until May or June, July, August, you know, you could procrastinate on your decision, or be decisive by the end of April and make choices, the right choices for yourself. And the overall energy I got is the 8 of Cups. And this is a card of self-love. This is a card of saying, you know, leave behind the things that aren't serving you well. Walk away from them and pick up those things and embrace those things that serve you well, that nourish you. So this is a card of walking away and walking towards in the energy of self-love. So that's the advice for April that we have. So that's what I have.
I wanted to add something. I will bounce stuff off of inspiration from the other reader. I didn't do it tonight, but every once in a while something comes up that catches my eye. And it's funny because we both talked about conflict and communication. And when that Van Gogh card came up, the first thing that popped into my head is listen with both ears. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that's a bad pun.
No,
Van Gogh, he chopped off one of his ears. So if there is a thing about communication with you, or in terms of conflict with somebody, make sure that you are communicating and you're listening with both ears. Don't shut the communication off.
Mm-hmm. Point. Okay, so hopefully that rang true for you. Let's see. So next is let's see, Selena. So yeah, what do my guides and ancestors need me to work on for next month? Okay.
I'm sort of surprised how optimistic everybody is, jumping ahead a half a month to get into April. Maybe it's they've had too much of winter and they just want this damn season over and they want it to be spring.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, maybe they're all fools. You know, the April Fool's Day, the beginning of April, maybe they just want that fool energy of something new and fresh. I don't know. Why are we not talking about what's left of March? We're all...
just shit on March. Let's move to April.
So I don't know the thing about the Ides of March. We passed those, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'm getting good cards tonight.
Good.
Not that there's a bad card, but ones that please me. I don't like cards that are heavy or end on what looks like a down note.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah! Boy, oh boy, some of these are ever present tonight. A lot of similar energy. Hmm. Shall I go or do you want to
Yeah,
go?
you go. Yeah.
All right. This is wacky because I got both the Emperor and the Empress again. Well, that's not that surprising when you're dealing with 22 cards, but it is a little bit odd over the course of an evening in many readings that some of the same cards come up again and again. But then again, the question's been pretty much the same again and again, too. What's coming up in April maybe has more to do with the calendar than it has to do with individual energy. But the central card in this one is the Emperor looking to the past. The past is sun and enlightenment. So that feels a little down or a little not sure what we're coming from a great place in the past, but the energy of the Emperor is kind of like butting up against it in a way. It's like what happened in the past that was like on a positive note or had a positive ring, but maybe at the moment is at a standstill. And with her back to the Emperor is the Empress. So we got Emperor and Empress again, but this time they're not facing each other, confronting each other. They're turning their backs on one another. So in the future of this spread, we have the Empress, which is in comfort mode. So there's something about this energy of something sunny and great in the past, but up against the stubbornness of the Emperor that's kind of stopped that. And the Empress is sort of in recovery mode, like self-caring, self-nurturing, and looking forward to something that's comforting and good. Now, underneath that, we've got the mountains. The mountains imply an obstacle or distance. So there may have been something in the past involving something you had difficulty getting through. Now, I don't know why that would be right under the sun, because they seem a little bit at odds with one another. The sun's usually something happy. The mountains aren't something bad, but it's something that it's like a process that takes a long time. You want to get to the other side of the mountains, you've got to put on your pack and climb over the mountains or go all the way around them. It's a distance, it's an obstacle. So there's something in the past where this involved a blockage of some kind, even though there was something sunny. Maybe it's between there and the Emperor. Well, in the sun and Emperor, the Emperor is kind of blocking that sun. In this one, though, I don't know. The mountains are followed by the flowers of the bouquet, which is usually a very nice thing. It's a kind of a warming, positive gift. It's often a romantic gesture. It's somebody that cares about you gives you something that's positive and very nice, good energy. And my particular little character is looking a little bit back in the direction of the mountain. The mountain, he's also looking back. So these may both be tied up in the energy of the sun in the past position. I'm not sure. And the last card in it is the clover, which is usually a little bit of luck, which is weird because the clover is sort of like less of a gift than the bouquet or the flowers. So it's sort of like diminishing luck or diminishing happiness. And I wouldn't say your luck's turning for the worst, but it's just there's some kind of a transition that's going on here, and I can't quite make it out. Again, it's this sort of like notion of things that seemed bright and happy. There was some distance or blockage involved. There still is some blockage that you're pushing through with the help of some positive energy. But there's also this notion of self-protection, and with a little bit of luck, you're going to get there moving forward. Now, the last three cards, this is nice. The central energy is the Queen of Cups. Very good, very good. The Queen of Cups, it's mastery or mistresy. Is that a word? It's empowerment over emotions. It's a place of emotional comfort and well-being, which is very much like the Empress. And that's the central energy here. The first card is the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is, again, emotion. But it's usually sharing and celebrating that emotion with friends. And this particular card, it's feminine energy. Well, often the Three of Cups is feminine energy. But maybe you will find strength or support in going out with some gal pals to have a drink or something, Maybe that also relates to the gift of the flowers. There's some kind of little, it's here. Care Bear says tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. That clover wants to show itself. Well, there you go. I didn't even take that into account, but that's pretty obvious. It's pretty close. The last card is the Ace of Wands, which is new compassion, new growth, new passion, new growth, new ideas, and having going through this emotional situation, you are able to move forward into a new productive energy. So I don't know. My readings, I think, are kind of confusing tonight a little bit, particularly this one. But I hope you can pick up on some of the things I've said there and sort it out.
Okay, so Selena, the first card I got for you is the Five of Pentacles. And I think this card is just a message from your ancestors saying to not have such a scarcity mindset and just like focus on the fact that they're there for you. They're there for you. You have people in your life that are there for you. You have friends or family, just people in this community on here that you could turn to, and just be aware that when things get hard, to not do things on your own. That you have people to turn to. And then I got the Knight of Swords, and I think this is just saying to stand in your truth. Stand in your truth, stand in your word. Don't be afraid to speak your truth. So I don't know if you're going to encounter a situation where you have to do this, where you're going to be challenged about, who you are, what you stand for. But this might be saying that if that happens, then be authentic, be yourself, and don't be afraid to speak, who you are. Then you got the Ten of Swords. And but in this card, it's interesting. They have, and I can't remember the artist's name, but I recognize this as the Virgin Mary during the Annunciation. So it's when the angel came and told her that she's going to give birth to Jesus, the man that's going to save the world. That's a heavy burden to have. Can you imagine being a little girl and having someone come and tell you that? That's a heavy burden. So I think this might be saying that there is something that you are chosen to do. There is something that you have been chosen either by the universe or someone in your life to do, just some sort of responsibility. So you have a responsibility, and it's going to be weighing on you in April. But I think what it's saying is that you're up to the challenge. So whatever it is, if anything comes up, you're up to the challenge. Even if it gets hard, you're up to the challenge. And you got the Seven of Swords. And how I read this card is to don't hide who you are. See this woman, her legs are dangling out from behind the moon. She's trying to hide herself. And I think this card is saying, don't deceive people about your brightness, your bigness, your boldness, how awesome you are. Don't make yourself small. I think that's what that card is saying. And the overall energy I got is the Page of Wands. And so this is similar to the Ace of Wands that Robin got. And it's about beginning new projects, beginning new passions, moving forward with new bright eyes, and I think that's what this April is going to be about. That's going to be the general energy, is that just keeping your eyes open for newness and starting new projects and starting new ways of seeing the world, even if it's not like a literal project. So that's the message that I got. I hope some of that rang true for you, Selena.
What's interesting to me, Kristen, is years ago, you and I read, I think on my channel, we've also read in study groups and stuff. I don't want to say we're so much better now, but we're so much better now.
Yeah.
Over the course of time, we have both improved drastically in the way that we read. And that's not us alone. That's like open to anybody that reads. The more you do it, the longer you do it, the more I think that happens. So, but it's funny because I'm reflecting on it because it's been so much time between then and now that we've done this together. And I noticed it tonight. It's like, it's a whole different energy, and it's deeper, and we seem to have more access points too.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Yeah. Okay, so
do we have anybody left, or was that the last one?
No, we have two more. Are you okay with energy?
I'm good.
You are? Okay. Okay. I might have enough for two. Okay. SCB, are you here? Thank you, Ange. That's very sweet of you. And thank you, Jackie. Oh, good, good. So Selena says that we did great, and she feels better about and more prepared for these issues. Yes, Ange, we have. We've all grown tremendously over the years. So SCB, are you here?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yes, I'm here. Okay.
He says we work well together.
Yeah. Let's see. Will life and my anxiety improve throughout the year?
It's funny because that's kind of a yes or no question, but I don't usually approach them that way.
And I'm not predictive, so I can't really predict.
Yeah.
Really, I can read the energy around anxiety in life.
I keep seeing new people popping into the chat I've never met or heard before.
Oh, hi, Garnet.
And I want to keep, I don't want to be tooting my horn too much, but since they're new to me, come on over to my channel, Toadstool Tarot. I'm trying to get over that 2,000 subscriber hump, and I've been so close for the last year and a half.
Oh.
So if all of you come and subscribe, maybe you'll push me just over the mark, and then I won't anymore.
Yes, please go to Toadstool Tarot and subscribe to Robin. He's a wonderful reader.
And I don't always read either. I do mostly, but usually if I do something subject topic oriented and I end up with extra time, I'll throw in some reading. So you never know. Now I've sort of blanked out and I've forgotten the question.
How will
not the anxiety in the year?
Yeah, life, just life in general, and their anxiety.
Oh, all right, good cards. Will I wreck your concentration if I go ahead?
No.
Okay. All right, SCB, I forgot your name, but I know the initials. The central energy on your question about can I kind of overcome or deal with the anxiety in the next year? The central energy is around the Chariot, which tells me, well, it all depends on how you proceed. It's your direction moving forward, what direction you take, how you go about moving forward. You know, you can fall backwards like this card sort of like sometimes looks like it's going to do. You can ride forward, you can go left or right. There's so many directions you can take with your energy. Be thinking towards moving it in the right direction that you want, moving beyond that anxiety. And the first card was the Wheel of Fortune, which basically says, hell if I know. You know, there's good times, bad times, there's ups, there's downs. We never really truly know when it's the Wheel of Fortune what's going to come our way. But I would say it involves you and your will to make things happen. Like certain things feel like they're random or out of your control. Do what you can with your energy to make things benefit you. So the Wheel of Fortune says, could be, you know, maybe not. And the Chariot says, find your direction and push it in the right direction forward. The third card is the High Priestess. The High Priestess is always a great card because it always, when you're feeling pushed one direction or another, you feel like things are out of control, it's always good to take a quiet moment, take some slow, deep breaths, clear your mind, just focus on your breathing. I use a little bead bracelet, and I take a breath per bead on my bracelet. I'm not even counting them out loud. I'm just feeling them as I pass through my fingers, and I make a cycle. And that slows my energy down and gives me some peace and room to think things out, think things through. So I think that your direction in moving forward through the what ifs is dependent on what you come up with, what kind of inspiration you get, what instincts or intuition you get through that high priestess mode. Now, the second one opens with love. This could be in terms of a relationship or romance, but you know, as RuPaul say, how are you going to love anybody else if you can't love yourself? You know, love has to come within and without, and even Deepak Chopra in this recent lecture, you know, the energy of the universe and what is or isn't God all seems to hinge on this idea of love. Now, you have to figure out or understand what love is, but love is extremely important in terms of the energy. Maybe in terms of the anxiety, it's like love yourself, you know, like just nudge the anxiety away with a little bit of love. The second card is the anchor. You want to feel, now anchor is a good thing in this case. You want to feel anchored or grounded in terms of where you're at. You don't want an anchor pulling or dragging you down in your anxiety. You want something that is an anchoring position in a good place. And the last one, this is lovely, the child card. The child for me is always play. It's very much like the Fool card. It's openness, it's playfulness, it's being open and aware to positive things around you, being inquisitive, being curious. How can you be full of anxiety if you're playing? You know, find a toy, find an activity that you have fun with, that you enjoy. Don't take life so seriously. Don't be so anxious about it. Find something that gives you joy. That will help pull you away from the anxiety. And here in the second one, we've got, I'm going to read them this time left to right instead of from the center. We've got the 10 of Cups. So that's a very good card emotionally. You've got all the joy and happiness, all the good feelings, all the good energy emotionally. That will help. If you can get yourself to a place of that, you won't even notice that anxiety. It'll just drift away. The World is the second card. The World, you're dancing through hoops, or so it feels like you're being danced, people are making you dance through hoops. Don't let them make you. Do it of your own joy and volition. Let that energy of the world embrace you and let you have fun and let you play and let you dance, and find that energy to leave anxiety behind. Look, she's looking over her shoulder, behind her, behind into the void of the ring that's in her past, and moving forward. You're dancing out and away from anxiety. Do that. And the last card is the Ace of Swords. Again, swords are speech and communication. Now, you can reinforce good feelings by good thought and good speech. So you can create a little mantra for yourself. You can do little deeds that are positive, change your focus towards positive things, and the anxiety just drifts away. So, and this is the beginning. It's an ace. It's the beginning of that, knowing that about thinking positive, speaking positive, starting something new. Gee, all these great possibilities coming to you. There's no room for anxiety. So, you've got a whole year to work on this. Try a little bit day by day, month by month. As you're moving through the year, you're moving towards something good and away from the anxiety. Okay? That's it for me.
Cool. Okay. So, who are we reading for? What's the initials?
SCB.
SCB. Okay. The first card I got for you is the Three of Swords, which is a card of grief, of pain, of loss and struggling. But it's what you do with that struggle is what's important. It's the wisdom that you can harvest from what you're going through now. Just don't see it as a wash. See it as a chance to harvest some sort of knowledge, some sort of wisdom, information about yourself or about the world around you. And then you got the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is one of grounding. She's a woman of grounding. So this is about really getting to your center. Get out of your head, that frenetic energy that's causing you the anxiety, which is understandable. If life is getting you, is shitting on you, you're going to be anxious about it. But this is about managing that anxiety. The only way that you're going to get through the anxiety is to manage it. And so this is about meditation, centering, box breathing, just really calming your nervous system. And I think that's what that card is calling you to do, is to look into ways to calm your nervous system. And then you got the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is about moving on, but it can be a difficult moving on. Like the Swords is about the intellect, communication. So it's just a new way of speaking to yourself. This can be hard. This can be very, very hard to find a new way of speaking to yourself. Rowing a boat, through difficult waters, it's not easy. But this is saying to speak to yourself differently, to learn, to start that journey now, to sort of start that process of sort of reprogramming how you speak to yourself. And that can calm your anxieties, even when life is bad. That'll calm your anxieties. And then you got the Five of, is it the Wands? Yeah, Five of Wands, sorry. And this is a card of conflict. And what came to mind for me was a quote from Napoleon Bonaparte. And I'm paraphrasing, but he said something to the effect of, the battlefield is a place of chaos. The winner is the person who controls the chaos within. And so I think this is speaking to when life gets hard, when conflict arises in your life, when challenges arise. This is another card of grounding and centering. It's calling you to calm that chaos, and might be easier said than done. You might need some counseling or some elder who knows how to do this, to teach you how to do this. But it's required. It's required for your own happiness, and for your own peace of mind. And the final overall energy card I got is the Strength card. And I think this is just speaking to the fact that you are a strong person. You are a very strong person. Even when you don't feel like you are, you're still getting up. You're still getting up in the morning and you're still moving forward. And you need to give yourself props for that. Give yourself props. Don't poo-poo that, you know? So that's the reading I have for you. So okay. Okay, so the final is Dope Hope. Dope Hope, are you here?
SCB says, I have tears in my eyes, Kristen.
Aww, aww.
And he says, you couldn't be more spot on.
Aww. I'm glad it was meaningful for you. Let's see. Dope Hope isn't speaking, are they? Okay, I haven't seen Dope Hope for a while. Okay, so they must have left. Sophia, are the questions randomized? The questions are closed. They've been closed for a while. But please come back. I plan on going live again, and Robin goes live on his channel on occasion as well. But yeah, subscribe and keep an eye out. I asked before they closed. Okay, let me scroll up to see if I could find it. I'm not seeing it, but it could have been a while ago. Do you want to state your question again, Sophia? Since Dope Hope isn't here, we'll take your question, and that'll be the last one. Thank you, SCB. I was wondering why H tends to stare at me so much. I personally don't do third-party readings, so I can't. H isn't here to give me permission to read on them. I don't know exactly. I can't read into H's mind. So unfortunately, I don't know. Robin, are you comfortable reading on that question?
I will read the cards as to what they say. Of course, my impulse is, Sophia, ask H why he stares at you so much. You get an answer right away.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to the cards for that.
She said, could I get a general then? Okay, we could do a general.
Oh, interesting.
SR Kish, no. We're done. Sophia's our last reading. And like I'm spent. About 45 minutes past what I thought I was going to do. So my apologies, but we won't be able to get to your question.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Karen, we're both wearing green. In time for St. Patty's Day. That was completely by accident.
Okay. I got something.
Cool.
All right. Interesting. The center energy question is, who are you? Ask yourself who you are in this situation. That energy is surrounded by the Empress and the Emperor. So I'm assuming this is a couple question, a romantic question. Why does H tend to stare at me so much? There's a masculine feminine oppositional energy here with the card in between being who are you? So it's like you have formed some opinions about who he is and who you are. Think more about who you are and why you ask the question and why your energy is needing an answer to that. Now, below that, the center question is the garden, which is social interactions, like parties, gatherings, people. If someone you work with, you go out for drinks or go to dinner in a group or whatever. The energy seems to be around your social interaction with this person. On one side of that, we have the loyal friend. The dog is loyal friend energy. Maybe this person does not consider there to be a romantic emotional connection with you. Maybe they consider themselves to be more a friend than a romantic partner. It's a possibility. And then closing off, we have the whip. The whip is usually not particularly positive, repetitive, habitual action. Maybe you're doing the same things over and over. Maybe you're having the same expectations of a partner over and over, or this particular person. You have ideas about them that you keep approaching with that same idea of like, well, I want them to be like this. Why are they behaving like this? And it's like, new day comes. I want them to be like this. Why are they behaving like this? Maybe you're in a cycle there of repeating your energy or your action towards them. Also, the whip, and besides being a repetitive thing, can be a kind of a destructive or an unpleasant thing, sort of like punishment or torture. It's not, whip isn't generally a pleasant symbol. So it might be that you are sending out signals repeatedly that are affecting why H is staring at you so much, or why what's happening is happening. I don't know. The other spread I've got, the center energy is a 10 of cups, which is basically emotionally happy, emotionally fulfilled, happy family. That's a great card. If there's a relationship here, that looks to be very good. So then that's kind of sounds like it's in conflict with the other cards, but it opens with the Ace of Swords. So I would say the ace is the beginning and swords are communication, the beginning of communications. In order to have a happy family, what's more important than anything is open and honest communication. And like I said before, and I didn't mean to be curt or mean, ask him, why does he stare at you so much? You at least, might be rejection, it might not, but it'll open a conversation. You'll find out by asking. And the last card is the World. Maybe you're shutting yourself off from going there, from asking him, from taking that leap into the void or out into the world. Maybe you are holding yourself back in terms of getting those answers. And all it takes is a little pinch of courage on your part to approach him and ask him, why, I notice you've been staring at me a lot. What's that about? What's going up through your mind? Is this something we can talk about? Open up the conversation, because conversation, again, is key to this happy family, happy relationship, whatever it is. And I hope you got something out of that.
They don't really speak to me. Mainly lots of staring.
Well, do you speak to them?
Yeah.
It takes somebody to start a conversation. If they don't speak to you, speak to them. If they won't answer or respond, you've got an answer. They don't want anything to do with you. But at least you've made that effort. You put the energy out there.
Yeah. All right, I'll do my reading. So I pulled from the Prairie Majesty Oracle just to get a question to spark the reading, and you got shed. How can I know myself is bigger than any fear? So it's the snake shedding its skin. So it's how can I know myself as bigger than any fear? And so the cards are interesting because they really speak to fear. So you got the Eight of Swords, and this is feeling, hemmed in. This is about feeling trapped by your thoughts, being trapped by energies that are around you. So you're anxious, you're frightened, you're dealing with anxieties or fears around a certain issue that's making you feel like you can't act. Maybe it's a situation that you're talking about, like maybe like this is speaking to your hesitation to act because you feel like the situation doesn't allow for that. And then you've got the Ten of Swords. And I think this is just speaking again to just the weight of your mind, of what the situation is doing to you. Like you're ruminating and ruminating and ruminating about it. When you don't have to feel trapped in by it because you're bigger than this fear. You're bigger than this fear. Because you got for the solution of it, you got the Three of Pentacles. And I think this is speaking to just remember back in time, the times when you've handled yourself, where you've stepped into your power and you just you handled the situation well. This could be times when you've had help from other people, but not necessarily like this. I mean, this could be a collaborative effort of something that you did that made you feel empowered, but it could just be on your own as well. Just try to remember back in time, step into that person who really owned the space and know that you got this, you got the situation. And the overall energy I got is the Ace of Cups, which is an energy of love, of emotion. And so I think this is saying, start from a place of love, self-love, and love for those around you. Like if the person is staring at you, he, she, or they, could be staring at you for any number of reasons. And if you suspect that it is affection and that interests you, go for it. If it annoys you, say something, So yeah, it's basically the ball is in your court. And that's the energy of the reading that I got for you. So,
yeah, I noticed something she said, and you mentioned a couple times this idea of fear. No, she says, where did I don't want to speak to him. I feel it'll make him uncomfortable if I call him out. Well, don't call him out.
No.
A telling phrase right there. If you're confronting him, that's calling him out.
Yeah.
Don't do it that way. You don't even have to. If, like Kristen said, if you don't want him to bother you, then go ahead and call him out. Tell him to leave you alone. If you're interested in him, open the conversation another way. She mentioned fear, and it's like maybe he's afraid to talk to you. You're afraid to ask him. He's afraid to talk to you. You'll never get anywhere if nobody makes the first move. Yeah. So if you're interested in him, smile. Say something pleasant to him, but don't say, why are you staring at me? Why do you keep staring at me? Don't confront him. Don't call him out. Find another way to present. There you go. Miss Tarot Wise. Don't call him out. Invite him in. There you go.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm sorry if I sound like I'm yelling at you, Sophia. Really not. I'm quite fearful, not about H or anything, but in general about other aspects of life.
Okay. So yeah, my cards might not have even referred to H then. It could just be about, if you're fearful about other things, in other aspects of your life. This is saying, like, think back to the time in the past where you've owned your power, where you have been successful at things and you've been productive and successful and set out to do something and you did it. So just remember those times that you got this, whatever is weighing on you, just know that you have it to handle it, even if you have to turn to other people for support in the process.
I have to say something else, and this is maybe an apology. I get very short-tempered with these kind of questions, or I don't even know if this is that kind of question. Wherever there's a question about romance, I get so short-tempered about it because I often feel like people that ask those kind of questions want fate to deliver a gift in their lap without making any effort. And I've been through this. I've had crushes on people or sensed affection towards me, and it's confusing. It's difficult to deal with. You want someone else to solve it for you. You don't want to, go out on a limb and try and figure it out yourself. But ultimately, you get the best results when you expend the energy and do try to participate in your own future. You can't leave it all up to the wheel of fortune. Well, whatever will happen, will happen. It happens with a little help. It's like I used to wait for Mr. Right to come knock on my door. It's like, that ain't going to happen. Like, what are the odds of Mr. Right, coming to my door and finding me, as opposed to stepping out in the world and meeting people and talking to people and sharing that kind of energy, letting them know that I'm open or I'm positive and that I feel. I mean, you might have to set some boundaries or limits or be a little guardful, but don't be overly guardful. You want to make a connection if you're interested in this person. So, essence of the moon, leap of faith. Absolutely. Take a leap of faith. Roots and waves. If you're too nervous starting a conversation, you can just hand him your phone number. Oh, I don't even know if I'd go that far, Ange,
Yeah.
but and say, if you want to talk to me something, call me. And if he doesn't call you, then you know the answer. Well, if you're suspicious or doubtful, I don't know if I'd give him a phone number, but that is a possibility. That is a way to open it up, open up the possibility of being approached. Find some way to give him courage to go beyond staring at you, to be able, just smile. If you haven't said, actually, you haven't told us if you want attention from this person or not. It sounds like you do. Let's see. Thank you. I'm curious on why he stares, but truthfully, it's not something I think about often. Well, you thought about it enough and it was important enough to bring it up here. So, invest some of your own energy into answering your own question.
Yeah, and can I just point out the obvious? You are a very attractive woman if that's you in your photo. So he could be staring at beauty, just like, God damn, she's a beautiful woman. It could be just as simple as that, So
he could be a little overwhelmed and feel a little emasculated is the wrong word, but he may lack confidence. Often we have self-doubts. We lack confidence. We need a little something to give us a little oomph to get beyond what holds us back. It's like, you think, you're holding back. What about maybe he's holding back? Maybe he's having similar kinds of feelings and unable to open up to you. All he's looking for is a way to do that. We mainly meet at college. That's why, but it's just funny. Oh, you're very young then.
Mm-hmm.
You're in college. Yeah. Fine. Do you have any mutual friends? Hang out with friends. If you're in a group environment, it takes a little pressure off.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like it really weighs on her too heavily. So.
Well, if you don't like him looking at you, very class clown type of person, maybe his energy is too much for you. Maybe you don't want that. Maybe just walk away. Or if you don't feed into his energy, he's going to stop staring at you, most likely. You have lots of mutual friends, but he only stares, no talk. He only stares at his friends too, or he only stares at you. Maybe one of the mutual friends can be a go-between to initiate conversation between you. What That's what friends are for. I'm not going to sing it, but
Cool. All right. Well, that was our last reading.
oh, we've just gone just a minute over 9. So
Yeah.
great. I
Cool.
was productive.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I hope you enjoyed the readings. Thank you so much for your support for coming to my first live reading. So this was great. So thank you everyone. I don't know how to end these. I guess I just say goodbye and then just said end stream. So
Yeah, end stream, but don't like leave the studio because you and I can still.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Ange. Bye everyone.